All right, what's up, guys? We are live. Welcome, welcome. Just getting this set up, making sure we are good to go. Thanks for your patience here at the beginning. As again, we're doing it live, probably for the 7th or 8th time now at this point. Welcome, welcome to the show. What's up, guys? Coming in. Welcome to the show. We are now live. This episode is What's the Deal with Men and Women in 2025? What must change? And we have a special guest in the house. Just bear with us as we get going. We're just about to get started. Thank you guys for your patience. It's greatly appreciated. Welcome to the podcast, guys, on YouTube. Do us a huge favor, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow the channel. Support your boys. We are here. We are growing. Only getting better by the day. Bringing on amazing guests to teach you about dating, relationships, money, fitness. We're going to get into all that.
Amen.
That's
Fitness.
it. Yeah, we've been primarily focused on the dating aspect of it. Now we're going to start getting into the money, fitness. We're going to get into all of that. All right, guys, welcome to the show. Welcome to the podcast, guys, with Rob and Nando. Today, we have a lovely guest back on the show, formerly known as Health is Dope, now Business Health Solutions, Soulutions. Before we get to her, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Make sure you like the video, support your boys, hit that notification button. We're on all over a bunch of platforms: TikTok, Rumble, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Threads, X, formerly known as Twitter. Should go back to Twitter, but it is what it is. Follow us there, the Podcast Guys, or the Podcast Guys _, or the Podcast Guys 5. So check us out. And without further ado, we are going to welcome our lovely guest to the show. Welcome now, Business Health Solutions, Catherine Rivera. Welcome. Why don't you go ahead and tell us your name, age, occupation, highest level of education, nationality, and dating status.
All right. Hello, beautiful people. So my name is Catherine Rivera. I'm a business owner, multiple businesses. highest level of education, college. I'm single. My ethnicity is Ecuadorian and Puerto Rican. Yeah, was there anything that I missed?
I think the dating status. Single, dating, relationship, married.
Yeah, single.
All right. All right. So welcome to the show. And why don't you go ahead and drop your, business information, anywhere where the people can find you. We do have description down below. You can find her website and Instagram, but why don't you go ahead and tell the people about where they can find you and your ebook as well.
Okay. Yeah, so I have a couple of websites. The first one is www.businesshealthsoulutions.com. That's for the business coaching and mentorship to help people launch their online business or real estate business, as well as the Marcus Alexander Foundation. So www.marcusalexanderfoundation.org. That is the shared housing program, which is also connected with the Legacy Street Lions Project, which is dedicated to helping men return into society from incarceration. And then I have the digital products, one being 4 Ways to Pour Into a Man, which was previously one of my podcast episodes when I was hosting Men Empowerment Podcast. So yeah, you'll be able to link to the digital products through the Business Health Solutions site. Awesome.
Why don't you go ahead and you want to get into your ebook a little bit? You just kind of break down for us a little bit.
Okay, yeah, sure. So pretty much I just decided to turn my Men Empowerment podcast episodes into ebooks to have more of a global reach, to raise awareness and educate women on how to uplift the men in their lives. And so one of them was 4 Ways to Pour Into a Man, which was actually the biggest hit out of all the episodes, had the most views on that, most listeners on that one. And it pretty much educates women on the 4 of the many ways that you can pour into a man. One being his peace. You can pour into his peace. You can pour into his respect. You can pour into his value. And you can pour into his desire, which are the ones that are named in that ebook.
Excellent. Beautiful. So that's great that you're, back on the show. We have some fresh topics to talk about. So, Rob, why don't you go ahead with the first question?
Well, number one, welcome back, Catherine. I remember you were on about a year ago, I think. We did an episode together, and you said something that day that really stuck out to me. I remember you read us a quote. I think it was, the first time a man receives flowers is on his deathbed, at his funeral. And that's really deep because men are expected to do a lot in society, in their relationships, in their marriage, but we're not really shown appreciation nowadays. So I think it's going to be one of our overall themes. So why don't we start? We're going to go through a couple of different topics today, but why don't we start with this? This was a topic you brought up before we started filming today. What society pushes versus what works when it comes to relationships?
Yeah. So society's way of dating and relationships is very surface level and superficial. Everything society promotes, get everything fast attention, fast validation, fast romance, fast dates, fast commitment, fast without testing and approving shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No one is testing and approving character. No one is being patient.
Mm-hmm.
95% of people are not being patient, not building that foundation that it takes to build a long-lasting, healthy, thriving relationship, which you'll be able to weather the storms together. So, yeah.
Yeah, well said. I think relationships, just like a lot of things in life, it really does take a long time to build, right? If you think about your education, your career, friendships, hobbies, things that you're learning in life, it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen over the course of a couple months. Oftentimes, it really takes years of hard work and effort to make it work. And I think relationships are no different. And you're right. Now we live in a time where people want everything right now. And if I don't get it the way I want it, then I'm going to move on to the next person. And the end result is this kind of messed up dating, this hookup culture that we live in now.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, it's definitely very tricky how dating is going, how men and women are just intertwining together and just trying to form relationships, but they're not working out. They are just going their own way, both sides. You know, we talk about MGTOW, but we also talk about women doing their own thing. So it seems like everything's a complete mess, and it seems like we're here to fix it. We're trying to do what we can to improve it as best as
I
possible.
wanted to ask you a question because you sent us your ebook, 4 Ways to Pour Into a Man, Inspiration for Uplifting the Man You Love. I think that's an awesome title, by the way. Do you feel like it's getting to a point where maybe women are starting to put some effort into understanding men more? Because we had a guest on, and she told us that men don't understand me, so I decided I'm going to try to understand men to try to make this work. And I was like, interesting.
Yeah. That's a rarity. Like, it's rare.
Yeah,
It's rare
I
to
said
see
the
that.
same thing.
It's rare to see that from a woman. And that's actually how I ended up, you know, in my growth journey, as being a woman, being you know, better mother, a better wife, you know, even though I'm not married, but is that the first thing I wanted to understand was men.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be able to be a better wife for my one day husband.
Yeah.
So I needed to know how to understand him and how he was designed. And that's the thing, when you don't understand how a man is designed and how he shows up, then one is not able to appreciate that, because you're not going to see, you know, what's in front of you when it's in front of you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think, and this is, again, one of the reasons we started this podcast all together. Like Nando says it all the time, we're trying to bridge the gap between men and women, because I think men and women all together don't understand each other in many ways. We think differently. We love differently, right? We need different things from each other. So I think that's another thing we'll get into today. So let's touch a little bit on this topic. So what do you think it is about modern society that's kind of pushing us in the wrong direction, that's teaching us the wrong things? Is it social media? Like, is it what we're seeing online that's doing it?
It's the lack of foundation. So when I say the lack of foundation, the lack of self-control, the lack of restraint, the lack of discipline. You're dividing your attention across multiple DMs, multiple reels, multiple social media platforms all day long. You know, there's no wanting to, you know, feed your ego with instant gratification.
Yeah.
And so the world's love is fed from emptiness. Like, there's no foundation, there's no substance.
There's no substance, yeah.
All you know, you confuse attention with love. Attention is not love. Boundaries are not rude.
Yeah.
You know, standards are not rude either.
Right.
You know, so the world's way of loving is, you know, he dished out $100 for this date.
Right.
He must really want to commit to me. He must really like me. Wow, he says I'm beautiful. He must really, really like me. He must really be into me. Oh, he give me so many compliments. You know, like, he texts back fast. All of that is superficial.
Yeah, it is.
Compliments are superficial. Scheduling, anybody can prepare or schedule a date. Anyone can book a trip. Anyone can take you to go see their friends. Anybody can give you compliments. That doesn't mean that they love you. That doesn't mean, we're going to have a foundation here. We're going to have a strong relationship. What creates a strong relationship and a strong foundation is the patience and the balance, getting to know one another, respecting each other's autonomy, having self-respect, having discipline, having self-control, having restraint, embodying love. And that's where it gets lost. It gets lost.
Yeah,
in
it seems like
society.
dating's very transactional in that sense,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Like for a guy, I could tell you for
Yes.
sure. For us, it definitely feels like it comes down to like how much are we willing to spend, what type of a restaurant, and there's a certain amount of effort you do have to put in. Like I'm not saying men shouldn't do that, but sometimes it feels like that's all it comes down to is like how much money do you have, how much you willing to spend, and what can you do for me? Boom. And that doesn't feel like a relationship, and you're not really going to have a close connection with somebody long term that way and build anything real, in my opinion. So,
100%. And what I was going to say is instant gratification. People want things now. People want relationships quick.
Yes.
What?
Everything fast.
Everything fast. What about instant gratification is preventing a relationship from happening or killing relationships?
What about instant gratification that's preventing a relationship? I mean, it speaks to it speaks a lot. Oh my God, there's so many things that come to my mind, but
What's one big thing that like instant gratification type thing that ruins a relationship? What do people rush to get out of a relationship that just kills it for them?
attention, validation. I mean, that's like the top two. Like the minute that they don't get something that they want, like for instance, like if someone shares something with the guy and he doesn't respond fast enough, or he doesn't heart your message, or verbalize like these grand.
Oh, what do they call it? Words of affirmation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that
like,
a lot.
Men don't operate that way.
Correct.
They're not just going to speak all these poetic
Correct.
things to women. And
I'm glad you brought that up, because I think sometimes women misread us because we don't do that. It maybe sends the message that we don't care or that we're not into them, and it's not true at all. We're just not wired that way.
Exactly.
It doesn't come out naturally from us. Like you said, we don't sit there and write poems and like come up with wonderful things to say. We might feel it, but we don't say it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think women are ruining it in certain ways. For example, let's say you're in a relationship, or you're not even a long-term relationship, serious relationship yet. You're just dating, but she wants to text you throughout the day. She texts you, you don't respond to her. Then she flips out. Oh, why didn't you text me throughout the day? You don't care about me. You don't like me anymore. If they're in a serious relationship, you don't love me anymore. What's going on? And it's like, bitch, I'm working. It's not that I want to ignore you or I want to not text you throughout the day. It's just that I'm busy. I'm trying to work hard and make enough money to be able to take you out for a nice dinner, or take you somewhere, since we're in a relationship, we've been together for a bit, or even just trying to date her. You're trying to give her things because you need money to buy her things, to take her out, whatever the case may be. And you can't do that because you're not focused on what you have to do. You have to focus on texting her. It's ridiculous. So for women, they feel like they have to have it all, and they just can't be that way.
Yeah, and I kind of want to piggyback off of that. That if you collapse when you don't get a response from a man or from someone you're interested in, and you collapse, how the fuck are y'all gonna weather the storm together?
Correct. When you have real
if
problems.
If you collapse easily under something so small like that, how are you guys going to weather the storms together? Because storms will come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you have to work as a team if you're going to overcome. You want to overcome. You want to get through things. You have to work together as a cohesive unit and push through it as best you can. But the thing is that even in a relationship, it seems like men and women, mostly women, I'll shed the light and the blame on for this. They like to do their own thing, while guys are really trying to keep it together and go as a team and work towards achieving what they want to achieve, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Whatever they want to get out of it. But the man is focused on them together. Usually the woman is focused on herself and herself only, her interests. What can he do for me? And then what's going on now that may be an issue, there may be something that we're going through that he can help me with. It's not what can we both do for us. You don't hear that enough.
No,
And it's
that's
sad.
rare. It's rare. It's so rare.
So what do you say to that? What do you say to women that try to just kind of make it about themselves and not about the whole team? Because again, at the end of the day, man, woman together, you're a team. You're working together.
Yeah.
You care about each other, you love each other, or you like each other, depending obviously where you are in the relationship. But you want to achieve what you want to achieve together. Usually women aren't on the same page. So what do you say about that? What's your opinion on that?
Like if y'all already in a relationship or dating or
So we could say
or
that,
interested. Like,
let's say you're in a relationship and they may be going through some difficulties. You know, maybe guy lost his job, right? And he can't take her to places that he would be able to take her when he had a job, when he was doing well. So it's like, what does that guy do in that moment? Well, he's going to try to do his best to make ends meet in any way, shape, or form, because there's no excuses for men. For men, we are expected to achieve. We're expected to bring results to the table, right? And that's what women are looking for. But the thing is that if it's just not happening, if it's just a bad bump in the road and, you know, you have 2 or 3 bad months, is it right for her to say, well, if you don't get your shit together, I'm bouncing? Or is it better for her to say, hey, I got you, we're together, I'm going to figure out a way to help us? Even though, you know, he's the man, he's the guy. He's the guy in charge and he's the one taking the lead. He's going to be the main breadwinner. It's just not working for him right in this moment. Yeah. The instant gratification comes in where they're not getting
she's not getting the result that she wants. And,
in that very moment, she's not getting the result. It's not working out. And, you know, it might come maybe a couple weeks later, maybe a month or 2 later, but she's not patient. Should women change their ways and really focus on togetherness versus her and her selfishness?
Accountability is huge. It was like in my relationship experience, like it was never about what they did, is what I could do better. It's like turn all that energy inward and realize that you are the problem sometimes and where to correct it. So I'm just going to give y'all an example. This isn't like a relationship example, but for instance, I shared something with someone and there was like this, I don't want to say awkward pause because it was not awkward for me, but I paused in the middle of sharing this experience with this person. And I thought to myself as I paused, I'm like, why is there hesitation here? Why am I hesitating? I was like, oh man, in my thoughts, I'm thinking, oh man, I'm gonna have to sit with this and journal this out and figure out why am I hesitating to continue to share this experience with this person. Then I found out that I had reached another layer and level of vulnerability, which in the past had been so difficult for me. So I was able to identify that. But you see, I turned inward. I didn't say, oh, he's making me pause, like doing the blame game, you know? So yeah, accountability, turning all that shit inward and seeing where within you, the root of why this thing is a problem for you. Because it's not a him thing. It's within us. And then also too, radical acceptance and detaching from results and outcomes really goes a long way. Because ultimately, like when we die, does anything go with us? No. Right. So it's just like nothing really belongs to us. So just detach, you know, and just radically accept for, you know, things as they are. Like life is a journey. And, we shouldn't be attaching ourselves to any results or outcomes, expectations. Everything is an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of when you mentioned accountability, which is the big word there, accountability that women don't take. Women don't take enough accountability. They barely take accountability at all. That's the problem. So I think if women were to change that, which we talked about that ad nauseum here on the podcast, they will definitely see more success within their relationships, within their dating experiences. They'll be able to really realize that, this is a better way of going about things. Taking accountability, okay, it's my fault. And then how can I fix it? Right? Because all you have to do is figure out, okay, it's my fault. How can I fix it? Because guys are out there trying to keep things together. When relationships are falling apart, the men are the ones that are putting themselves in the forefront and be like, okay, what can I do for you? How can I make this better? Because they don't want to lose that, especially the average guys. That's why we tell men you want to try to get to above average or higher, high value. But of course, not everybody can be that. So they get stuck. They have no choice but to try to figure out ways to climb out of the hole and save the relationships. That I see is a big issue for men. But if women change, then they'll have less problems. The thing is that the women don't want to change. So I think this is a big point that we're trying to make. Women, you got to take accountability. Yeah. Start with something small, because I think it's really hard for them to take accountability. Yeah. Start with something really small. You make a mistake, fess up to it. Mm-hmm. It's my fault. Mm-hmm. My bad. Then things will be
And if better. You can't easily do that, write about it, journal. Like, that helped me so much, like, on my growth journey. And like, it really goes a long way, like, when I think about a scenario like that where, the man lost a job or whatever, is carrying, heavy weight that you may not always like visibly see, but you can feel it. It's just like, women should be asking themselves, how can I pour into this man? How can I help him towards his vision? How can I provide him with rest? How can I, make it more peaceful? How can I, uplift him? How can I encourage him? How can I, just help him, move forward? Like, that's what we're designed to do, to be helpers. Not that we're beneath or anything, but it really goes a long way. And then when you mention high value men, so now when I think about a high value man, I don't think about making a certain income. That's not what comes to my mind. Looking a certain way, being a certain height. Like, it's nothing superficial. When I think about a high value man, I think about character, inner foundation. Does this person, have respect, discipline, self-control? Do they embody, joy, and, is their mind sharp? Like, they're able to lead? Because again, provision is way more than money. Like, it's way more than money.
Yeah, I think that's something that women really have to face. They have to figure out what they have and not to make silly mistakes so they don't lose it. Because there are great guys out there. Yes. Obviously, there's fuck-ups out there. Don't get me wrong. There's some dorks out there. There's some bums out there. They don't want to work. We get that. We're not talking about those men. We try to give advice to all men, and including those, to make sure they get their shit together. That's for sure. But at the end of the day, if women make a mistake, they make an error, even if it was an accident, in any case, in any situation, take accountability, work to take accountability, because what if you get to a major point where you do have to take accountability? If something was your fault, who do you have to blame? Who do you have to look at? You can only look yourself in the mirror. So I think that's very important.
Yeah, and I think, women, some women don't need another date. They don't need, to be looking on dating apps. They don't need to be looking out a window for a husband. They need to be looking in the mirror to see where they can improve. And literally, like, the more you improve within yourself and your inner foundation, the more likely you are to attract a husband.
Very powerful stuff right there, 100%. Anytime you want to improve an aspect of your life, you have to start with yourself first. Anything,
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
I want to switch it up to another great topic. Men and women love very differently. We show affection differently. You want to touch on that? What's the difference between how women love and how men love?
Yeah, so women, we love from our essence and with verbal affirmations and encouragement. So we're more of the poetic.
More verbal, definitely.
Yeah,
You talk about
definitely
it, explain.
verbal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know if I don't speak, if I don't express myself, if I don't, say words of encouragement, I don't feel like I'm being in my feminine. I don't. But men, they don't do these grand declarations, verbal declarations. That's not how men operate. Men, the way they love is through actions, through showing up, even if it's, the smallest, I mean, it's not small to me, but, as the world would call it, the small things, the little things.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way men show their love, through just showing up, through being, through actions.
Yeah, men are expected to take that leadership role. They're expected to get out there and do things that they're expected to do. But sometimes they end up doing things that are unexpected. There's men out there that pull off miracles. And I think there's not enough appreciation from the ladies out there. I think they need to realize that there's guys really trying to do their best to carry the weight. So when they come home, they can bring that back to them, and it's rewarding for the woman. But the thing is, it's a little different now because obviously women make their own money. So it's a little bit different for them to appreciate. They kind of have to learn the hard way, where they get to a point where they're making money, they're doing well. Yeah, they buy their own place. That's all fine and dandy. But who do you have to share it with, right? Mm-hmm. Do you have a man to share it with? Are you dating someone? Are you in a long-term relationship? Are you married to someone? Mm-hmm. Who do you have? At the end of the day, you're by yourself. So there's guys out there that are really sacrificing themselves. As there's some people that say that we've seen online, there's guys that wake up 6 a.m. and they pick up garbage for a living. There's guys out there that have to build buildings, 5:30 a.m. in construction. They start early. They have to sacrifice. And they do it as a thankless job. Nobody's, not nobody, but many of them go home to nobody thanking them, appreciating them. And men need to be shown that appreciation. I think there's not enough of that nowadays. So if women are able to be that support, be that backbone for those men, I think things would be better off for both sides in that relationship, in that dating scenario.
Yeah.
I think I heard this analogy somewhere, and I think this will put it into perspective for women, like how differently we are. When like a little kid draws you a picture and shows it to you, and you go, "Oh my God, it's such a nice picture," but it's like the worst picture you've ever seen. But you know what I'm saying? When men put effort into you, when they spend time with you, to the man, it's huge. We think we're doing a great job. We don't do words of affirmation or poems or speak our feelings. Just about every guest has brought on like emotional intelligence. I don't really feel that men lack emotional intelligence. It's just we're different. We communicate it differently. So to a woman, I could see why they would think like, oh, he's not calling me back. He's not texting me back. He's ignoring me. He's losing interest. And that's where that whole like the bare minimum. We did like a few episodes on that. Like, why is it that women always say men are doing the bare minimum? You don't know. To him, he might be putting in maximum effort. Maybe he's doing his best to convey his interest in you, and you're just not reading it. And where does that come from? Just not understanding each other.
Right. Yeah. And if women educated themselves more on how a man is designed, then they'll know his value, and then they'll be able to appreciate him because he'll be seen. he'll be seen for who he was created to be.
That's the thing, that there's guys that seem like they're invisible. Nobody's noticing the hard work they put in, the effort they put in. And if women became more of that support system, I think relationships would be flying smooth. They wouldn't be just trying to survive. You'd be thriving.
Yeah, if people worked on their inner foundation.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that with men, again, men love unconditionally, and then women love conditionally. What's the condition? What is he going to provide for me? What is he going to give to me? Not only the things, the physical things, but emotionally. We were mentioning emotional intelligence. They bring up emotional intelligence. We have to understand their emotions when sometimes we don't know what they're trying to tell us. We don't know what they're trying to communicate to us, because most women don't communicate up front, logically. You have to be straight up, right? A lot of women aren't straight up.
And that's another thing about guys, is sometimes you just have to kind of like directly tell us, because if we might be thinking we're on the right path, and we're doing something we're not communicating to her the way she wants to be, taken care of or communicated with, words of affirmation. You just have to kind of tell us, because we don't do well with kind of like indirect communication or passive aggressiveness. Like a lot of the times I think guys will start talking to a girl and they're left like, what the hell did I do wrong? Right? Like I thought we started off good. I was putting effort into her, and then she might have read it as like, oh, this guy's doing the bare minimum. He doesn't care about me, or he's low effort.
Because women who say that that's bare minimum is because they don't understand how man is designed, and they don't understand his value. Because I'm just going to give y'all an example. Someone knows you well enough to know like what type of music you'll appreciate, and they send you a reel of that music. That's tailored act of care, like, to me, and that's a really big thing to me. Like, that shows layers of effort. But to another woman, that might be, reels, please.
Good point. And just another one for the women. If we send you memes, that to us in our world is a big sign of respect. If we send you memes on the daily, that means you're you know what I'm saying?
You're in the club right
You're
there.
in the club.
You're
right
in the
there.
clear. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, it's like a little thing,
For me,
but
it's like my bare minimum is like honor, respect.
Yeah.
That's the highest form of respect. Honor is bare minimum. Like,
yeah.
And if you don't get that respect, how do you feel? If you don't get that honor, how do you feel? You don't feel good.
I don't feel good, and I walk the fuck away.
That's the thing. That's
like people don't understand. That's literally like one of your biggest powers or your greatest powers.
Yes.
Is to walk the fuck away. You don't have to sit there and entertain shit that doesn't align with you. That's not gonna produce, a healthy relationship, a healthy connection. That's not gonna align with this, vision that you have in mind. If you do have a vision, like me, I'm a visionary. I move like a visionary. Everything I do, there's a higher vision attached to it, and I make sure that I do not entertain things or allow things into my life that does not align with that vision.
Yeah, you can't. You have to really focus on what works for you and live your life in that way. And if there isn't anybody that fits that, they can't be in it. They have to be pushed to the side.
Exactly.
And, it is what it is. It's just, if you don't mesh, you don't feel compatible to them, there's no relationship together. It's not like, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And I think it'll work more if women start loving unconditionally, because they put too many conditions on men. If they were to start, when you're starting the relationship and then work into a serious relationship where you're, okay, I love you, blah, 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 then showing them the love, the real love, without not getting anything in return, that's the best way.
Right. Being able to give without receiving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you give understanding, not attaching yourself to not being understood. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you give understanding, don't expect to always be understood. So detach yourself from that. If you give encouragement, detach and don't expect like a specific like response or result or, validation or whatever. Like just give freely and let it flow from, your inner love, because love is not, I don't believe love is something external outside of us. It's something that we embody, and then, we show up, how we show up will flow from that place.
I mean, it's crazy to me that you could love someone and then eventually the love just dissipates, right? It just goes away. It ends, and you think it's supposed to be something that goes infinitely forever, until
That's one of the harshest realities of it all.
Well, that's because that's love built on
The wrong things.
worldly standards, which is on emptiness. It doesn't, let me give you an example.
Yeah.
Let's see this
I
example.
brought these two little, I built these Legos. So,
Oh, we got Legos in the house.
so
All right.
this one, right, actually, if I could take this off of here, I will. No, I can't. Okay.
You put it together pretty good.
All right, so the idea, so superficial love standards is like the decorations of the house. It's like the outside and the decorations of the house, right? So that's what this is, right? The outside decorations of the house.
Yeah, the inside's
So-
empty. There's nothing in that joint.
If a storm came through, this would completely collapse.
Yeah.
But this one is built off of respect, self-control, kindness, not counting wrongs, patience, accountability. So that builds a strong foundation. So when a storm comes through here, is this going to collapse? I don't think so.
Yep.
Yeah.
And actually, I want to see the Lego because I was going to say, like, when I hear women say, like, I want to build an empire, right? So this is what the empire would look like. This is your house, family, loyalty, kids. That's an empire right here. What you have here is your Instagram, your Dubai trips, your likes, followers.
Show them on the side.
It's nice.
There we go.
But
There
if
we
you
go.
turn it this way, there's nothing in it.
It's empty.
See?
It's empty in there.
Exactly.
This is the bullshit people are on right here. But no, very good analogy. It's a good visual. Yeah.
Great visual. Yeah, I know you mentioned you were going to bring those Legos in, and I think it's great for people to see because they don't realize that when you're in an empty situation, it could be a situationship, dating situation, relationship, whatever it is. If it's empty, there's nothing there. Once it gets hit one time, done, goes down. But in a situation where you are in a great foundational relationship, it's built up, you're building together because you have to start somewhere. You have to build.
You have to be patient. You have to be patient.
And that's what people don't have.
It can take time. It could take months. It could take a year. It could take 2 years. But, it requires a lot of patience and radical, I don't want to say a lot, patience, period. And radical acceptance. And again, detaching to results, outcomes, people.
Yeah.
Like for me, like I believe was really meant for me, it's not going to pass me by. Like I firmly believe that. So, I think I've witnessed a lot of people getting attached to like certain like people. Like they're like, oh, this one. And they're like, have that fear of like losing this person, like when they're getting to know them. And so they put on the performance and they try to perform or they chase to like try to keep that person in their life. But really, it's not going to work out.
Yeah, I don't think you can be afraid to lose anyone. You just have to really be your best you. Do the best you can to be the good person you are. Do things naturally, and it'll work.
Exactly. It's not about perfection.
Yeah, detaching is a powerful thing because when you detach from stuff, it's like you're letting go a ball and chain. Like once you you learn to truly detach from anything, relationships, jobs, connections, whatever. You can finally move and think clearly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said, it does take patience. It does take time. That foundation could be built. It could be a week. It could be a year.
Right.
Could be 5 years.
It'll take what it takes because it's a journey.
Yeah. And it's going to be a rock solid
Exactly.
foundation. The longer you build it, the more you put into it. What you showed us there has different colors, different sizes, different ways that things fit together. And that's a great portrayal of what goes on in daily life. Someone that builds a nice relationship, you could see that it's a legit nice relationship. It's going really well. End up getting married, kids, etc. Wonderful things happen from that. But when you don't have any of that, when it's fake,
Yeah.
you have
Exactly. Fake base, all based off performance.
all superficial, all fake.
Yeah.
You have, the social media. Social media is fake. Physical appearance. Some of that is fake. There's guys on roids.
Yeah.
And there's women getting their BBLs and their breasts done and their lip injections and their hair extensions and all that shit. So it's like, can you build off of that? Maybe you have a business that's kind of like a scam, pyramid scheme, and goes nowhere. It turns out that you get caught and then you get in trouble, whatever the case may be, falls apart. Then you go home, relationship as a result, because you get into an argument over that or something else, falls apart. Because there's no foundation. There's nothing built up where if something hit it, like a storm hit it, it wouldn't tear it down. So I think
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You two people built a foundation like that together from their inner foundation over time. Oh, forget it. You guys will be able to weather the storms, any storm.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think?
And if he can't, if he can't show up, because men are human beings. They're not always, what they have to carry sometimes is heavy, and they're not always going to be able to show up 100% of the time. Right. Like sometimes you really have to provide him with rest. So it's just like, be more mindful of that and like, how can I show up for him? But again, it flows from foundation, like we was just discussing.
Yeah, and you don't have to kiss a guy's ass.
No.
You just have,
No.
You just have to be his support. If you're there, you're his biggest fan. You're supporting him. He's coming home. You're bringing him peace. No matter what's, again, I've said it a bunch of times, dating, relationship, talking stage, whatever the case is. If you're able to be that home to him.
Yeah. Not switching up with the weather.
Yeah. Yeah. That home away from home, right? Mm-hmm. Because you may be out, you may not be home, but when you're with her, you feel like you're at home. So having that support, having that peace, it's just a great feeling. And I think relationships will be successful off of that. We'll achieve a lot off of that.
The male version of our bare minimum is we want a woman that's loyal. No man wants a woman that's screwing around, cheating, talking to other guys.
We'll have something about that.
Yeah, definitely. And a woman that's just going to be there for us. Like, we're not exactly asking you to go do anything specific for us. But if you have those two things, that already right there is like the base to me for a good woman. Being loyal and a woman that's just not going to make your life difficult. Not saying that she has to make your life easy, but just don't make our lives difficult. And right there, most men, I think, can work with that. It's hard to find somebody with just those two traits right there.
Yeah, I think if women are causing problems, I think they may be trying to find a way out of the relationship. Yeah. Especially if they're doing it consistently. If it's something that's once in a while, then, it may be different. But when it's a consistent basis, she's kind of doing it on purpose. It's like you can tell, you can read the signs.
She's trying to like when a job tries to manage you out type of thing, right?
Yeah,
they'll make your life. Yeah, I've experienced it for sure.
The writing's on the wall. You understand and you have that feeling, okay, this girl is giving me a hard time. And then you wonder why, and then you start trying to read her signs, but you can't read her signs because you don't know where she's getting at the end of that point. So what you have to do is sit her down and ask her what's up, what's going on. Because men, you don't want to waste your time with a woman that's going to give you a headache and issues. You got to move on from that.
Yeah, definitely self-respect. Self-respect goes a long way.
Do men not have enough self-respect for themselves nowadays? Do they put up with too much shit more than they should?
I mean, from what I've witnessed, I would agree with that.
Yeah. And what do they have to do? Like I said, sit with the woman and talk to her straight up. Be like, listen, where are we at? What's going on? Why are you acting this way? I guess call her out on it. Or do you think that that's going to be something that pushes her away as well? Because sometimes they're like, oh, why are you talking to me about that? Why are you bothering me with this?
If it was me, like I said, I would just walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
I know it's easier said than done because there's men that pour literally everything for years into a relationship, so it's like really hard for them to walk away. But wherever you could walk away, just walk away.
While you guys were discussing that, what I was gonna ask you next is like, what do you think is an effective way to like get through to a woman? But I learned that sometimes, like you just said, you just can't. You know, and then that's another thing you have to accept sometimes too, is like sometimes the person just doesn't like you like that, or they change their mind, or somebody better came along. So that's another thing. But sometimes you just have to walk away. There's no answer. Like,
I think the most powerful thing men can do is walk away.
Yeah.
I've walked away from many situations, and it's funny because you end up finding that they get upset, they unfriended you, they blocked your number, they blocked you on social media, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
So you're better off
because
you already can tell that if they were willing to do that,
you dodged the bullet.
then you dodged the bullet. You dodged the issues that she would have brought upon you during that potential relationship. You don't want to force the relationship because that's worse.
No, yeah, definitely. That it shouldn't be pressure or obligation, and it shouldn't be forced at all. That's not even healthy, like in my belief.
Do you think that people hold relationships together too long when they should have already broken off? Do you think that happens quite too often? And if so, do you think that I have the answer in my mind, but do you think it's a detriment for a relationship to keep going when it's having issues, but it's still being held together by one or both sides? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've witnessed that, but then it goes back to like people should, I guess, work on themselves in a way that they're able to identify the red flags early on, or the things that will cause breakdown in a relationship, or maybe it's not a red flag, but it's not going to align with the vision or the path that you're meant to go on, or that you are taking, and you guys just have to part ways. So that's really a big thing that's being missed in today's society. Again, going back to testing and approving, people are not testing and approving anything. When it comes to, identifying, is this person the right person for me that aligns with this path or this vision or this direction that I'm going?
And do you think there's a lot of pressure from outside sources to keep a relationship together? Social media, there's people online, people you're trying to impress, that, okay, if I break off the relationship, I'm going to be embarrassed. If I break up, would I have to go in together with this guy? For the woman, because I think they care about their appearance more. Mm-hmm. If anything, women probably post more about their relationships than men would. So what do you think about that? Women trying to keep the relationship because of, something superficial. We're going back to superficial things, social media pressure. In reality, nobody really cares. They got their own shit going on. But at the end of the day, some women have that pressure. They have all these followers. They have people that, that they think are supporting them. Meanwhile, from far away, they're hating on them, or, not really wishing them the best. should they follow the opinions of others, or should they do what they need to do?
Oh,
Who gives a fuck about opinions?
Yeah, yeah,
Like that.
for sure.
That's how I obviously not every woman thinks this way, but that's how I think. Like I do not care for anyone's opinions. I don't care to be liked. I don't care to be validated. I'm here. I am called. I got this vision. I am after this vision. And if you like me, great. If you don't, great.
Yeah.
Guess what? Because whatever doesn't align with the vision naturally falls off. So it's literally a free filter. Great. You don't like me? Great. It's a free filter. Great. You block me because my content is too positive for you? Great. Free filter. Literally. Like,
Game over.
Plus, no matter what you do, somebody's gonna not like you. No matter where you swing
like,
politically, how much money you
doesn't
make, how you look.
matter. So it's like we should not attach our value, our self-worth to anybody's opinion, anybody's behavior, whether they respond or not, if they reject you, gives a fuck.
Yeah,
Really,
you got to stay
it's a
locked in on
free-
your own
Yes.
vision, goals.
And I think, not I think, but like society is literally lacking the inner foundation. Yes, does social media, do they push, the worldly thinking, of superficiality and, oh yeah, if you don't hear from him every day, that means, he doesn't like you. I've seen that.
Yeah,
And I'm like, really? Like, what about one's autonomy? Like, sometimes I want alone time to recharge and just, kind of refocus and see, refine, do inner refinement, inner work. And I don't want to be, I just want to be without the extra noise. And someone who could respect my autonomy, like, that goes a long way. And it should be vice versa. Like, just, create that space, respect the man's autonomy to be authentically him and for him to show up how he needs to show up. And whenever he responds to you is when he responds to you, and that's okay. Like, that's literally okay.
100%. 100%. Totally agree. I mean, you know what? The sad mistake that women are making out there, and again, ladies are going to hate. Too bad they're not, more of them are not following us because they should be. But again, we're here mainly for the men to help the men and realize that, hey, this is what you have to watch out for. But in this case, I'm going to pull the women aside and be like, if you care too much about your physical appearance, then you're too in your head and you're going with the opinions of others. And women that do the lip injections, they do the hair extensions, they do the makeup, but it's over the top, the BBLs, plastic surgery, breast enhancements, that kind of thing, they care about what other people think. And I think if they didn't really care about what other people think, they wouldn't have to do any of that. They would naturally try to enhance themselves. Let's say, for instead of a BBL, you go to the gym, do some squats, forget the BBL, grow that peach naturally, things like that. But if you have to, this is another thing with instant gratification, be instantly gratified, instantly feel good. Everything always has to feel good. Life ain't about always feeling good. Sometimes life is about feeling like shit, and you got to work through it.
Exactly.
And women are just really, they're failing themselves because they're worried about what other people think if they have a BBL. They're worried about what other people think when they get breast enhancements. Who are they doing it for? They're not doing it for themselves. You can't tell me that as much as women let us say, oh, I just did it for myself because I wanted to make myself feel better. No, you didn't do it for yourself. You did it for the fact that you want to look better for others, usually other men, usually other people, for better opportunities. Because for women, they get more opportunities, the better they look. It's what it is. It's just natural way of life.
The same way that men are addicted to porn. Why, right? It's a temporary feeling of happiness. In the long run, it will screw your relationships, your life up in that sense. And I think the female version of that is if you fall into and you get addicted to that Instagram likes and like external validation, all that is just quick dopamine hits, and it's like
Yes.
a
Yes.
drug that you keep feeding yourself, and it's
Yes.
never enough. You're chasing that dragon, and like
And it's gonna go away. It's temporary.
it's gonna go
Yes.
away. It's gonna go away. So I've heard the term like we live in like a dystopian society, and I think like this is what social media is doing to us. This is what the internet's doing to us. Is like we live in a world where we externalize our validation. It doesn't come from in-person interaction anymore. It's all online. So with that being said, I wanted to switch topics a little bit. Why don't we do a quick one on the marriage piece? So we live in a time now where women are having a hard time finding a husband, but at the same time, men are having a hard time finding a girlfriend. So why don't we get into that? What are your thoughts?
Okay. So before we get into that,
Yeah.
I just want to add another piece for the social media. Like, social media is like, it's a world where you can get free attention, free validation, and like it literally feeds the ego of instant gratification. Like, all the way. And then the fact that you touched on how women are like enhancing like their looks and lip injections or BBLs is
Everything. They're doing too much.
Masculine men do not marry looks.
Right.
They marry behavior.
Right.
A lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah.
And then also touching on the feelings too is like feelings are nice.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I think about that, I'm like, okay, feelings and liking this person or developing feelings for a person is not going to tell me if they're slow to anger. If this is not going to tell me if they know how to handle conflict. It's not going to tell me if they're patient. It's not going to tell me if they're disciplined. It's not going to tell me if they have self-control. So feelings are nice, but what about the foundation?
Yeah. And plus, the crazy thing about it all is that you could still get attached to a toxic person. That's the funny thing about it. That's why you can't always go off of feelings. Especially, like, we tell this to guys all the time, like, you cannot just dedicate yourself to a woman because it feels nice to be around her. You need to get to know who she is, what it's like to be around her long term. Because I'm sure a lot of guys have made that mistake where it's like,
we've all been in that boat, like where we fell for
Feels good.
performance.
Yes.
We fell for the performance, people just spewing all these nice, words to us. And we're like, oh, wow. Like, but then it's like, what's under those words?
Yep.
Yeah. So just, if you could just reiterate that. Cause
it's like sugar and spice and everything nice. And then you find out later you bit a poisonous apple.
Exactly.
So, I wanted to switch it up and let's get into the marriage piece. So, none of us are married, right? So let's get into that. Why do you think women have a hard time finding a husband nowadays? And obviously, I don't want to throw it just on women. A lot of guys can't find a girl to date. So, why don't we get into that? What are your thoughts?
I think
do people even care about marriage anymore? Is that a dying thing?
Right. So I think there's a couple of aspects to this, but the first thing that comes to my mind is, as a woman, do you have a vision?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And what does that vision look like? Because some people have no visions, and some people, the visions are different for everyone. Everyone's journey is different, and the levels might be different. So some women, they might be okay with just, all right, I'll be a stay-at-home. I'll get married, be a stay-at-home mom, take care of the kids. And maybe for another woman, there's a higher vision. So it's all about, like, first starting if you have a vision. And if you have a vision, are you aligning yourself, your behavior, your character with that vision to get there, to attract that?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think that I believe from what I witnessed, there's a lack of doing the work to get to where that vision,
the end result.
Exactly.
The long term. I get exactly what you're saying. It's you have to if you have to start with that first. If you really do want something long term, family, kids, so on and so forth, you have to identify that first before you have to start with a goal in mind.
Yes.
And go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Then the second aspect is I've witnessed a lot of people saying they want someone who, or let's say a woman says, oh, I want a man who doesn't cheat, but then she lacks self-control. And she's all over social media looking for free attention and looking for free validation. And liking all these guys' pictures. And I know it seems really small. Oh, liking a picture, like, that's not a big deal. Like, for me, I don't move that way. You know why I don't move that way? Because when I marry my one-day husband, which I know will come, I'm not going to be on social media liking every guy's picture.
Yeah.
So why the fuck am I going to do that now? I'm
Yeah.
not going to do it now. I'm going to move like I already have my one-day husband because he is part of my vision.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because, I think that's one of those simple things that, like, I think most guys will easily agree with you on that, like, we always get the bashing side of things, right? Men ain't shit. Men do the bare minimum. Men are cheaters. They're dogs. And it's the same women that are sleeping around, that are posting pictures of themselves, that are presenting themselves in that kind of, like, promiscuous way. So it's like, from the male side, it's like, well, what the hell are we supposed to do?
And that's a turn off for husbands.
Of course.
The husbands that are out there that are single, that is a turn off.
Of course. No man wants to see his girl, his wife, fiance, whatever, in that sense, because that's you already know how that's going to end up 99% of the time.
It's like in there, and to a man is like, you're posting without purpose. Like, what is your purpose for posting?
Yeah.
I think also with the story watching, people go into the stories and watch the stories. They don't comment anything, they don't like, but they're always watching the stories. They're always seeing what's out there. It seems like mostly the ladies, because, that's kind of where it's geared towards, that they're looking at other people's business, trying to see what's going on, maybe trying to see what other options are out there, because hypergamy, women are always looking to see what's out there that's better than what they have. So they try to compare, and they see someone maybe has more money, maybe looks better, physically, much more physically fit than what they have, and they get antsy, and then maybe they see an opening where they have a chance to get that guy, and then they try to work that in, maybe somehow, some way, spark some sort of conversation, and then the guy that they're with, they try to fade him out of the picture. And how do they do that? By creating some fake argument, fight, so they can pretty much break up, and she can move on to what she wants, and so on.
She won't break up with you, but she'll create an environment where you'll eventually just leave on your own.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you really quick, because this is right on topic with this. Did you see the Ayesha Curry interview?
Mm-mm.
You know Steph Curry, the basketball player. So Steph Curry's one of, like, the best basketball players right now. He's like the modern day Jordan, let's just say, right?
Okay.
So there was a recent clip that went viral. So his wife went on an interview, and mind you, she's married to a successful athlete, NBA player, rich, the whole nine. The guy's like 6'4" or something. You're not going to land a more top tier guy than that. They have 4 kids together. They're married, and she goes on an interview and starts saying, I never wanted marriage. I never wanted kids. Now I'm focused on myself and what's next for me. And I'm listening to this. I'm like, so how the hell does this work? So this woman just landed a guy that gave her literally everything. Women would, like, die to have a chance of dating a guy like that, never mind marrying him and having kids with him. Why do you think that happens? Because it seemed to me like she was still unhappy and still unfulfilled, because now the attention's not on her, it's on him. Right? And, like, going back to what we were just saying, like, when people get caught up into this whole, like, attention thing, like, it's like a drug. Like, this woman has everything and still not enough. You know what I'm saying? So that clip went viral. People are reposting it, tweeting it, everything. But why do you think that happens?
Yeah, and she was even on, when the guy was coming out, there was a guy, like some male model or something.
Yeah.
She was, like, trying to pull her ring off to show that, she didn't want to be married.
I guess the simplest way
Maybe
to
she
put
was
this,
kidding around in that moment, but
she almost made it seem as if the marriage and being a wife was holding her back from what she was meant to be. That's what I got out of it.
yeah, because straight up,
If you get a chance later, like, or tomorrow, check it out. Look up Ayesha Curry, Steph Curry. You'll see the clip. You'll see what I mean. But
yeah, because straight up, she says that she regrets having kids and being married to Steph Curry. I mean, this guy is a world champion.
yeah,
He's a world champion. How many world champions are out there?
his net worth is like over 200 million. He signed a deal, like, his, like, salary is like 60 million or something like in that range.
And like we say, high value is not just money, because you can have a lot of money, but you can be a dork.
Yeah,
Or you could
that's why I don't consider it high value. I don't. High value is all about, for me, it's all about character, inner foundation.
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
ability to lead, make decisions, discipline, self control, everything that I've been talking about the whole entire episode.
100%. Because whenever I see something like this happen, like with celebrities, this happens. I feel like a couple celebrity breakups happen every year. It just goes to show you could have everything and more and still be unhappy. All that shit, the money, the
Right.
house, mansion, travel,
Right.
like you can't buy anything more at that point. You have all the money in the world and you're still unhappy. So what does that tell you?
It's never enough. It's never enough. People need more and more and more. You could be in a situation where you have it all and you still want more just because you say, okay, well, I have what I have, but I'm not happy enough. And there's some more out there, so I want to get more. It's like people that have a lot of money, what do they want? Well, they have enough money, so they want to get some more power on their side. Things like that.
Yeah.
Same idea with these ladies. It's just kind of like, well, I have the family, husband, kids. I have the white picket fence. I'm in a nice area where my kids can go to a great school. I'm being taken care of.
Correct. I
have
would
to
expect her
work.
to say, I am so thankful that I have all this stuff. I don't have to worry about money. My kids are taken care of. You know, we have money. We live a good lifestyle, stress-free. And she's here talking about, I don't know what's next for me. I'm like, what?
Because
It's
they're
insane. Like,
they're unappreciative. They don't appreciate what they have. And then later, once they lose it, they regret it. They're crying, oh, I can't believe I did that. I shouldn't have made this mistake, blah, blah, blah. But then it's too late. So it's make a better decision. Don't be a dumb hoe. And just appreciate what you got. Because if you lose it, it's gone forever. You can't get it back. You take that trauma into that next relationship. It's a whole mess. It's a whole bag of mess. People are, and that's what we're saying today, that this whole society and the culture that we're in, it's just an entire disaster when it comes to dating, relationships, and you can throw in marriage.
Oh
There's-
yeah.
there's-
People have completely lost the vision of marriage. Yeah, I mean, I still believe in it, not by worldly standards, but by the vision I have. So yeah, and then to just answer the other part of the question, you know, why, was it men can't find girlfriends?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
husbands? I mean, there's plenty of women.
Yeah.
But I would, you know, from just what I know and what's been shared with me, it's definitely a rare thing now to find a wife, but I know we're talking about girlfriend.
Yeah.
So I kind of fits the same
Yeah,
thing,
yeah, of
like
course.
someone who is suitable for that role with, you know, that man who is looking. You know, it's not something that you can easily find. Me personally, I don't do girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I believe you can learn anything that you need to know about a person through friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, so, you know, that's just me. So I don't do girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I do the friendship, and then, you know.
We're either something or we're not. We're either something real long term or not. Is that's what you're saying? Or like you're just skipping that phase of the let's date casually type of thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what I've seen happens is when people hear the whole girlfriend thing, like, then the kind of, or even boyfriend, the performance comes on, right?
Okay.
And it's like when someone, especially when someone doesn't even know that you're interested in them, but, you know, your friends building a friendship with them, you know, you're going to see everything. Like my friends, my best friends, you know, have seen the most growth from me. Like they've seen my bad days, my heavy days, my good days, and they've seen my growth over time. So I think that's like the best way to know someone's character. So that's just my preference. I bypass the whole girlfriend boyfriend thing. Like if we're friends and, you know, and you identify that I'm your wife, then you'll rise to the occasion, put a ring on it, and we will, you know, get married if everything aligns and we're heading in the same direction. But yeah, I think like that's the best way, especially if the other you guys don't know they are interested in each other. Like you're just taking it, you're stewarding well in that role, and just being friends. Every character will definitely reveal itself.
Yeah. You get to know a person more thoroughly that way. Yeah, I get what you're
that's
saying.
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yep.
What do you have to say to the guys that are afraid to put a ring on the finger and make that big decision in their lives? And for both, it's going to affect both people. So what do you say to those men that can give them some confidence to get married? Because we're here always preaching, don't get married. Men, there's consequences to those actions. Men, there's no advantage to marriage.
Because
but
it's hard to find a wife.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't believe, in my experience, I don't believe it's hard to find a husband.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying it's easy to find a husband but hard to find a wife?
Yeah, I wouldn't say fine. Okay, it's not difficult to attract a husband. It's not. Especially if you've done the work. If you've done the work within yourself, you're gonna attract a husband. You're going to. But from what I've been, what things that have been shared with me from men, either have I crossed paths with on a business route or, through, I don't know, a business entrepreneur event, whatever that looks like, it's been shared with me. It's definitely, it's hard. It's hard for a man to find a wife.
So is there any advice that you can give them to encourage them and motivate them to be like, hey, marriage is not that bad. Give it a shot. Give it a go. There's that special woman out there for you. Is there no hope for men to find a woman to lock down and marry because they're scared of the divorce? They're scared of what that woman can turn into once she gets that ring on her finger. There's no guarantee of what could happen once that marriage occurs. So is there any words of encouragement that you can give to the men out there to convince them that maybe there is a woman out there worth it for them to lock down?
There is. It's just, it's rare. There are people, a small percentage of people, who are genuinely enjoying marriage, a healthy marriage.
Yeah.
But again, it goes back to the inner foundation. All right. So when I think about that, men, not married, maybe who want to be married one day. Okay. Have you worked on yourself? Self-development, growth, all those things. Right. And, are you embodying what you would want in a wife? Right. So that's like the first thing that comes to mind. And then, once you've grown and you have that self-development, even though growth it's a lifelong pursuit, can never stop learning, can never stop growing. Like it's a forever pursuit. Once you have developed yourself to a place where you feel like you believe that you're equipped for marriage, then is, knowing how to spot a wife and knowing the red flags and being able to love yourself in such a way that if someone cannot meet you at that level, respect yourself in such a way, love yourself in such a way, honor yourself in such a way that if she cannot meet you at that level, then you can just walk away and, have the courage to walk away because ultimately, you want to have a lifelong partner and you don't want it to be like, at war with this person. You want to have peace in the home. So it just starts at the very, beginning. After self-care, self-development, growth, and all those things, and building your character and inner foundation, knowing what the red flags are. And the minute you see a red flag, don't negotiate with it. Just walk away.
Mm-hmm.
If they disrespect you, it's because that's what flows from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And
disrespect is genuine too. It's genuine. Like
the words will reveal itself. So she could disrespect you once. Believe me, she's gonna disrespect you again. So just walk away.
Yeah. No, well said. You know, I think at the end of the day, there's a lot of good men out there that would love to have a wife and family, and they would be loyal. Unfortunately, it is hard to find a wife. I think. Look, at the end of the day, if you have to wait years before you meet the right person, I think we can all agree you're better off single than with the wrong person.
Yeah.
Look, some people can't find a wife here or a husband here. They go to other countries. I'm not against it. Like, there's a lot of like hate against the passport bros, and I get it because the whole like sex tourism thing. But look, if you have to go to another country or another state or somewhere to meet somebody, I'm all for it. But at the end of the day, I think the message is like you're better off staying single, patient, working on yourself than just jumping into something with some crazy person.
Do not get caught up in this.
No.
Let's move fast.
Nope.
Hook up culture.
See, like our parents kind of have that like old school, like, oh, when are you going to find a wife? When are you going to find a wife? And I'm like, you don't understand. This isn't 1970 or 80.
Right.
Like, I wish it was, but it isn't. And I can't just, so yeah.
Don't talk to me about this shit because you don't get what we're going through. This ain't 1950, 1960, 1970.
Right, like you're not just going to marry anyone. You know?
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah. You got too much to lose as a guy. There's too much risk. And, you know, there's a lot of things going on both sides for the ladies and the men. So we're going to pause it there. For now, we are pausing it, meaning we'll stop the live. We're going to do a pre-record that's going to come up within the next 3 to 4 weeks. We're in the middle of getting some of our other shows up soon. So we had Sasha Prendes and Yasmin Elzamore on the show a few weeks back. Their episode should be probably coming up this week, if not early next week. And we will be rating Sasha Prendes's TikTok studio. So be ready for that. That'll be this Sunday,
November 2nd. We're doing a live stream with Sasha Prendes. You guys might already know, but she sells fragrances online. We're going to be doing a live review, me, Nando, and Czar of Dating.
Czar of Dating is going to be there. So some good stuff for you coming up. We may be back live this week, so be ready for that. Why don't you go ahead one more time, Catherine, drop where they can find you.
Instagram business _health_soulutions, or at www.businesshealthsolutions.com or MarcusAlexanderFoundation.org.
Beautiful, beautiful. We appreciate you coming out. We're gonna do a pre-record as well. Going to be probably just about an hour or so, and be ready for that. That'll come up again few weeks or so. So be ready for that. Make sure you guys, as usual, we're actually not as usual because I only said it once before, but guys, get us to 100,000 subscribers. We're pushing. We're aiming high here. We got goals here that we got to hit, and we're doing it for you to be able to reach out to many of you, help many of you out there, both men and women. We're trying to bridge the gap. Again, like I said, we've had actually more lady guests here than men guests. You know, we've had Czar of Dating, SB Dating, some other guys, but mostly we've had the ladies on to talk their piece. So here on the podcast, guys, we love the ladies. We love the ladies, and we want to help them out. So make sure you support us because we're here. We're here for the greater good. Make sure you, again, subscribe to the channel, get us to 100,000 followers, and like the video. Hit that notification button. Follow all our social media platforms in the details below, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Cool. Nice.
All good.
Do a quick
good.
pre-record and
Yeah, we'll do a quick pre-record, take a breather. We have still more questions, so we
Yep, of course.
didn't do all